Hey, boys and girls, it's me, your Auntie DeadJosey. Okay, shut up! Today's episode is special. It has a secret word. Now, whenever these weirdos say the word rectangle, we'll keep track. Won't that be fun? Oh, can't you kids be quiet? Shut it! Yeah, so whoever is editing this is gonna have loads of fun. Whatever. Auntie needs a grown-up drink. Play the stupid intro! Lazy nerds. At least I get paid for this crap.
Okay, out there in Marveland, face front, this is Stan Lee speaking. You've probably never heard a record like this before because no one would be nutty enough to make one with a bunch of offbeat artists, so anything is liable to happen.
Robbie, there's your page one. Masked menace terrorizes town.
I told you he's not a menace.
And I told you...
I'll take care of it.
I'll give you 150.
Ha-ha! Time for ponies.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
All right, I run out of patience. On to Ruse!
Everyone needs burgers sometimes.
Me and you can kill this woman!
This is bullshit. You can't ground spider.
Who am I? You sure you want to know? The story of my life is not for the faint of heart. If somebody said it was a happy little tale, if somebody told you I was just your average, ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied.
Boy, I'm glad we caught you when you were in a good mood.
So, like in 1995, this man named Hugh Benis had a son, and he was all like, yo, my black son, I'm not black, but like my black son, he needs a superhero, and I make comics. I'll make a Spider-Man movie. I'll make a Spider-Man comic about him. Says me, Mr. Benis.
Anthony, what the heck are you talking about? It's Brian Benis. Or Benis.
I said his name was Benis.
Now you're making me say it, pronouncing all these names and stuff.
You thought his name was Benis. It's Bendis.
Because, yeah, like, throughout the entire ride, when we were here, you were like, Benis, 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 Benis,
Well, I
Benis.
had to say it multiple times because I knew I was going to laugh if I say Benis too many. By saying I'm just like... And, well, thanks for rooting the thing. Well, okay, so I guess we should probably just start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. How the Emissary of Hell was invented. Who made the Emissary of...
No, not that.
What?
About my origin.
Oh, yeah, your origin.
So let's go over this one last time. My name is Anthony. I was born on a Groundhog's Day. I had a weird thing on my leg. Then I was on a shitty podcast with 9 people on it with one mic, and I said to myself, let's not do that. I could probably do that better. And so I made a shitty podcast that lasted for a few episodes, talking about Pokemon. Then I just was like, well, that's over. And then we just made another podcast later that was just about general stuff, and then that died. And now we're doing this show. And for a while, I'm just the only host of this show.
Yeah, well, hold on. We're taking this from the top. My name is Nathan C. Smith, and I'm the co-host of the Creepo Depot. I was one day just sitting around my house, like, surrounded by beer cans, watching, like, Kamen Rider. Then all of a sudden, I get this call from Anthony. He's all like, I can't do this. I need somebody. I need anybody. I need your help. And I'm all like, I can rise to the challenge. And I can put on the mask and be the co-host that this podcast deserves.
So if it wasn't obvious by the title, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man into Spider-Man. Actually, it was really funny.
Spider-Man.
Back in October, I actually wanted to do a Spider-Man PS4 show, but I didn't play it, and I was gonna have it was just gonna be a Spider-Man show, and I was like theory crafting about all the theme songs I could use and how I'm gonna probably use that one clip of that one person going pretending to be Mary Jane, being like, everybody needs burgers sometimes, even Spider-Man, and then like I just never did it because I was like, I didn't play that game.
I think it was mostly just two of our irregular people that came in who did play the game through. I think the other, like our other person who played it.
It was going to be after Bran. Was it going to be Jers?
No, I don't think Jers owned the game. I know for sure it was possibly going to be Marcus, but then again, like due to Marcus's erratic life schedule.
Love you, Marcus.
Yeah, we love you, Marcus. Yeah, I think he only got a portion of the game done.
Okay. But, yeah, and so, we were going to do that, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. But now we're doing Spider-Man now. Mm-hmm. So, just want to let you guys know ahead of time, this is going to be a spoiler-filled spoiler fest, filled with spoilers all around.
So, yeah, either just cover your ears because we need the views, or don't watch this episode. But seriously, cover your ears so we can get the views. We need to get monetized. I don't
really need to get monetized.
No, I want to get monetized. I need burger money. I need burger money.
You need Bendis money.
Yeah, I need Bendis money.
You need Bendis money.
Yeah, we'll take a few moments. Let everybody who doesn't want to be spoiled
leave the room.
Yep, leave the room.
Love you, Renee.
Yep. Bye, Renee.
Man, Renee. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right, we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, there's this creepy man in the corner. He's all like, I don't want to be spoiled.
Well, leave, creepy man.
Yeah, leave here, creepy man. Just go. Go. Leave now.
Okay, there he goes. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man must fight his greatest nemesis, a rectangle, my newest fetish, mainstream views on animation, not my goblin, scary music Batman, and Tombstone. In this, you follow Miles Morales and several other spider people as they go and try to save the multiverse. So, Jay, what were your general opinions on Into the Spider-Verse? Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, Spider... Spooty Man, Spider Bendis, Benis.
I thought Spider-Man.
Benis.
I thought Into Spider-Verse was a pretty damn good animated movie. Like it was.
Oh, so it's not good enough to be like a normal movie?
No, like it's also a good superhero movie in general. Like the pacing's amazing, animation is just like makes my love for animation just I get hard thinking about this movie. Just to how stylized it is. It's just amazing. The character interactions are amazing. Just everything in general is amazing. If I had to find one complaint, it'd be nice to have a bit more screen time of the other Spider-Men and Spider-Womans in it, just to get a flavor for them.
Yeah, strong flavor of them.
Yep.
Yeah. This is so just to clarify for our folks at home, I have seen this movie 3 fucking times because I like it that much. But now after the 3rd time, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
No, you just need to recharge. Like after a week or 2, you're gonna be like, I want to go see it again.
I think I'm fine. No, after the 2nd time, I was still like, man, I want to see that movie again. But and Nathan's seen the movie pretty much 2 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We kind of on the first viewing we kind of came in a little late, but it wasn't too much. You still got the full picture.
A good gist of it. The only thing was we came in and we didn't really know it. Yeah, didn't really establish. Oh yeah, Peter Parker's a huge thing in this universe.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like just Spider-Man in general is just big, and he's not your typical 616 universe like Spider-Man, where he's kind of just scraping nickels and dimes and stuff.
Yeah, this Spider-Man, he's like super successful. He's like, he does it all, and he's like this. He's this very beloved hero.
Yeah, just the peak of his game, and it was just. It's pretty much if he was like the Superman of that universe.
Yeah,
like,
he's just beloved and enjoyed by all, and everybody is just enthralled by him. And he's this monolith. He's this big, larger than life person.
Yep. There's like no J. Jonah Jameson yelling and saying he's a menace.
Or he's no. I think he says that he's a threat or a menace, or a threatening menace, or a menacing threat. It could be either one.
Could be.
You know the one from Amazing Spider-Man. That guy is a menacing threat.
I'm trying to remember. I think so. Yeah.
And then the one from Spider-Man 3, he was a threatening menace. he threatened you with those sick dance moves. You know, I'm not gonna lie though, like they use that joke. They're like, oh hey, there was that one time Peter Parker was doing the dance. But like in the context of Spider-Man 3, it works out. Like it looks stupid, but that's just because
it's just the tone of the movie in general.
Well, not only that, but like in the movie, like the symbiote is making, like, Peter thinks that he can do anything, and that's how cool, like, that's what he thinks is cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
But
he's still a big nerd.
Yeah, he's still a fucking dork. So when he's dancing around, he thinks he's cool, but in reality, he ain't. But that's what he thinks.
Yep.
But still, like, it really does a really good job of establishing this is Spider-Man. Everybody knows him. Remember, Peter Parker. He has a Christmas album. He's got a popsicle.
He's got comic books.
He's got comic books.
Everything.
Yeah, and then we meet Miles Morales, this mild-mannered youth,
everyday kind of person.
Yeah, who's going to this fancy prep school that he got into because he was smart. And then, but he's like, but I don't want to be with this fancy prep school. It's elitist, and I want to be with the people. And then,
I want to make street art.
And at first, I was like, elitist? Oh my fucking god. I was like, oh no, he just misses his friends.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just code for I miss my friends.
It's pretty much that everyday teenage lingo and stuff. And that's what they really did a good job with Miles, is he feels like a teenager and kid.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on? Oh,
okay, slow clap. Sudden guest appearance. Slow clap.
What's going on in here? What's,
we got a breaking and entering, like a forward.
I don't understand what's going on in this podcast. It's just this creature walked in. And identify yourself, creature.
Let's do this one more time. Hi, I'm Cedar.
Nothing else? No backstory of how your uncle got killed or
how you're a tree?
Nothing? It's just
I'm totally a tree. I got bit by a radioactive tree.
Or you drank radioactive maple syrup?
No, it was a
radioactive
radioactive tree.
Okay.
Well, welcome, Cedar. You just kind of came into this podcast like the characters in this movie.
Yeah. Yep.
They just appeared. So we were just going over our general thoughts on the movie. What do you want to give us your general thoughts since you just got in?
Okay, general thoughts. I enjoyed it a lot. When I first watched it, I'm easily.
Oh, how many times have you seen it?
I've only seen it once. I'm going to see it later, or not later today.
This is the 2 and Up Club.
Yeah, this is the 2 and Up Club.
See, I've seen so many clips again and again, though.
That doesn't count.
No, I count it. It was really good when I first watched it, but then as I sat and thought about it, it's like, yeah, this is really good, but there are some small things that were missing, like the villains. That's one thing.
What's wrong with Rectangle, My Newest Fetish, Mainstream Views on Animations, Not My Goblin, Scary Music Batman, and Tombstone?
Oh, they're good. They're lacking. Like
Which one of them is lacking? The Rectangle, My New Fetish,
the Rectangle. The Rectangle. Like, I understand he's trying to get his family back, but it feels lacking because it's like that's not your family though.
But he's like so far removed, and he's like he's so riddled with guilt that like he's gonna accept any family. And honestly, My Newest Fetish is actually the worst villain, because she knew that if she got that family in their universe, that family ain't gonna last that long. She knew. She saw Burrito Parker going and dying slowly, and then she's like, "Oh shit."
Okay, let's get something straight. That's Rip Parker.
No, Burrito Parker.
Peter. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, she saw Peter be. Yeah.
Burrito Parker.
Breeder.
Yep.
Breeder. That's disgusting. He's more than just some flesh. I don't like this objectification of men.
I don't know.
And their paunchy bods.
He's had a couple of good-looking kids, so
he has.
Yeah.
Spider-Man had kids.
Yeah, and
when did this happen? Did Benis make this?
No, this was during like the 90s craze and stuff. It's like, what if Spider-Man had a daughter?
I know there's Mayday.
Yep. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. And yeah, I read a couple of her stories. They were pretty decent. Like, they were pretty good. But then again, I was like 10, 5, I don't know. I was pretty young. So, like, any comic book was a good comic book back then.
But, yeah, My Newest Fetish, she was a real villain, because she knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just going over how Rip Parker was like the coolest guy ever and had a popsicle.
Yep.
Yes. When I saw him die, I was like, oh, goddamn.
Yeah, it's this movie does not pull punches. When they kill something, they kill something.
Yeah, it's there. It is just, there's that presence to it. It has that impact.
Yeah, when the Rectangle just goes, and it's just like, oh my god.
Actually, yeah, Rectangle had 2 for 2 on kills.
Yeah, that made him so. It emphasized that he's a threat. He'll just shoot you in the back of the head. No big D. And it just
and they don't carry guns, so they can't catch the bullet with their gun.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Scary Music Batman. But yeah. I honestly thought the villains were very well done. I thought that outside of like the fact that like you only hear Tombstone's name like twice, and you don't really use like who's this guy?
He gets one line.
He gets like a couple lines.
Yep.
And
I didn't know his name was Tombstone until later after I saw it.
Yeah. I think after I saw it, I think I was like, who the fuck was that guy? Was it Hammerhead or was it some?
No, it's not.
Was it Big Wheel? Was it Sand Manatee? I don't know who the fuck this man is. Oh, it's just Tombstone? Okay.
Just going through all of Spider-Man's B-list villains right there.
I think Tombstone is like D-list.
Yeah.
Hang on, trying to...
I don't think I've heard of him before this movie.
I mean... Yeah, he was... I believe, he was created during when Spider-Man was still taking on thugs and stuff.
Okay. And then, I mean, I know Brick Frog. He throws bricks. And he's dressed like a frog.
You mean the Leaper?
No, Brick Frog.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Batroff the Leaper.
I'm pretty sure I'm talking about Brick Frog. I'm gonna Google Brick Frog right now. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's a Venture Brothers character? Oh, my bad. No, I was thinking about this guy right
franchise.
Here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, Anthony.
I don't know why I thought Brick Frog was a Spider-Man villain.
It honestly does sound like a Silver Age, like Spider-Man.
I mean, he fought the fucking wall, for Christ's sakes. I mean, technically, he fought the wall in this movie, too.
Yeah, he totally did.
He fought a rectangle.
I don't know how the rectangle got in and out of his cars when they were just normal sized.
God, I love this movie.
Hey.
Okay, like I know this sounds like I'm like ripping on the movie because I keep calling Kingpin the rectangle, but at the same time, you people don't understand. When I watched this movie for the first time and I saw that fucking rectangle, I was like, "This is the best fucking movie I've ever seen in my life." He's a fucking rectangle, and he's just amazing. I love this. It is literally the most perfect design I've ever seen of this character.
And it definitely fits that design your characters around their personality.
Yeah, and he has such a strong silhouette and such, and
he just takes up so much
space.
It's
Yeah, his presence is physically felt and like emotionally felt too. Like whenever Kingpin is around, it's like oh shit. Like when Miles and friends are infiltrating my newest fetish's lab. Like you see Kingpin, you're like oh fuck.
He took up like half the screen. Even like when he was off screen or in the background, it was just.
He was there.
Yeah, they let you know. They let you know.
Okay. Speaking of my newest fetish.
Yeah.
I really liked Doc Ock.
Yeah. Yep. That was probably the best twist of the movie.
I'm glad they kept her out of trailers.
Yeah, it's so effective, and it's such and it cements the whole like this is not the universe, you know. Though. Okay, so watching it the first time, I was, of course, blown away. Like, oh, I did not see that coming. It's really good. And then, like, second time, I was watching it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to see if there's like any like real like hints at this. And the only thing I noticed on the second viewing was that her her glasses were octagon shaped. And I was like, oh, well, there's that. That doesn't really tell you that much. And then the third time watching, I was trying to see if like her name showed up like on the little.
No, it only shows Olivia.
Yeah, it only shows Olivia. And then, but I did notice that like literally a lot of the shit she designs is octagon shape.
Yep.
And also the fact that
you can actually see one of her one of the tentacles on her desk.
Yeah, you can see a tentacle and like an old school like kind of claw, because like she's got like this inflatable shit that like. Is still threatening and oddly just like pat. Yeah, it's just so well done, and you're just like, as soon as like she says her name, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's such an oh fuck moment. Yeah, Nate, what was your general reaction to that when that happened?
Like, I was kind of shocked because, you know, again, it was just like, I'm way too used to Dr. Octopus being, like, male for a good portion. And it's just all like, he's either, like, a chubby man or he's a decrepit man. And it's always been, you know, Doc Ock is, like, there's that set.
Old and sad.
Yeah, old and sad, and there's that set appearance. So.
I mean, he wasn't really that old in Spider-Man 2.
No, he actually wasn't. But he was still sad.
He was still sad, and he was still pudgy.
But yeah, like when Liv showed up, it was just all like, okay, yeah, she's gonna be a villain.
Yeah,
eventually.
Like when I saw her in the first time I saw the movie, I was like, that bitch is evil, but like I don't know.
Yeah, like
I
don't know how she'll fit in because like they got Goblin's design, and that's the classic ultimate design for it.
I don't like that Goblin.
I know you don't like that Goblin. You don't. And then yeah, you got like.
You know what they should have done?
I know you wanted William Dafoe.
They should have had Dafoe be there, and he's like, "Fuck you, Spider-Man! I'm gonna make this kaleidoscope work." And then like Spider-Man's all like, "Isn't this kind of like some shit that you've done before?" Shut up! You said I'm out, and now I'm back.
But yeah, like, and they have the classic tombstone design. But then, like, they just threw Dr. Octopus, and it was just like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, when I first saw her, I didn't register oh, she's probably gonna have a bigger part because I thought she was just there in Miles on the TV screen in Miles' classroom to explain the whole
like dimensions
things and to explain away why Miles was kind of shaken a bit by it, but completely understood. But then once
which is also like a really nice touch, by the way. This movie loves covering its ass.
Yep.
With just little details like that.
Yeah. But like once Peter Peeber, as
Peeber.
I've been calling him Peeber. Once Peeber and Miles are in her lab and she reveals that she's a Ock, I was blown away because it's like, oh damn, I didn't think she was evil. And also, oh damn, I'm gay. I'm gay for someone evil.
Anthony's gay for somebody evil all the time.
Yeah,
it's the Anthony typecast.
It's Anthony. What do we call it? What was it? Anthony coded? There you go.
Anthony coded.
You just like her because she's Anthony coded. Yeah, so. But yeah, it's just, and I really like, the thing though that actually like, the only thing that like really pissed me off the first time I watched it was like, damn it, she put her hair up to make it herself look like an octopus. And I was so mad because I actually, one of my OCs is like this secret spider lady, and she has like her hair up in a bun like that, kind of like a spider would, but like it's kind of messy, so you'd see like little like dangles of her hair, and I was like, damn it, that's like basically the same idea I had.
Hey, but you did it first.
Yep.
Nobody knows that. Do you think Blue W is
Well, now I
gonna?
know.
Do you think Blue W listening to this is gonna be like, yeah, sure, Anthony, totally, you totally thought of that idea first, you hack fraud. And then she's gonna draw a picture of Marx going and eating a lollipop or something. I'm trying to make this as specific as I can, so when Blue W listens to this, she's just gonna be like, God damn it, I am drawing a picture.
I am Blue W, and I am drawing this picture.
Maybe I'll commission her. That way it comes to life.
Just set it up so on this day,
yeah,
at this moment, I want you to be working on this.
But yeah. Is there anything else about the villains you just kind of wanted to touch on?
Okay. Prowler.
No, it's Scary Music Batman.
Prowler.
Scary Music Batman.
Or Budget Spawn is also
Or
appropriate.
oh fuck, run, Miles, run, oh fuck.
Okay. See, I already knew Miles' uncle was Prowler.
Because you read the Benis comic?
Actually, no. As I said, I've only read like a lot of the history of Miles' origin.
Okay.
I haven't actually gotten to read him like I want to. But no.
Well, you can also pick up a couple copies when we're done.
Where can she do that?
Totally not next door.
You mean at Undercity Comics in Uptown Whittier?
Undercity Comics, providing all your comic needs.
Please go to Undercity Comics in Uptown Whittier and buy comics there, and then tell them that the Creepo Depot sent you, and then Renee will look at you and be like, what? And then you'll be like, what the shit? Renee's real?
We totally get $5 every time we mention Undercity Comics.
No, we don't, but I kind of wish we did.
Yep, I need that burger money.
He needs that Benis money. Anyways, fuck, I'm gonna write that down. That Benis money.
So is that gonna be like for the award show? We're gonna win Benis money.
But yeah, you're saying about Scary Batman.
So I knew from reading that he was evil. But from what I had seen of the trailers, I didn't think this purple guy, Prowler, was Miles' Uncle Aaron. Because Miles' Uncle Aaron in the comics, usually he's just a thief.
Or a thug.
A thief thug sort of guy who dies and then comes back as a supervillain somehow.
Magic of comics.
Yeah. As I think it was like Iron Spider or something. So I didn't know he was going to be Prowler until I was watching a YouTube video that was just like, oh hey, yeah, there's gonna be mild spoilers, but Prowler is Uncle Aaron. And
that's not a mild spoiler. That's a huge fucking spoiler.
No, but it was before the movie came out.
That's still still a major spoiler.
True, but it's like I don't mind spoilers to an extent. So I was like, I'm not gonna click out. But then it's like, once I was in the movie theater, as I was watching it, I was like, damn it, I wish I didn't know this now. Because it's just like, now that I do know, it hits pretty hard. Because like,
yeah, that emotional family connection.
It was, oh no, fuck, run Miles, run. But it was also, that's your uncle? That's your uncle. Stop. Let him know.
Yeah. But I remember I felt so really dumb because I actually kind of got the hint the first time I was watching the movie, because like early in the movie, like Miles' dad is like, don't be like your Uncle Aaron. And so he goes and visits his Uncle Aaron, and then his Uncle Aaron's living in this sweet ass apartment, and his apartment has like all these gadgets, and it's all like really nice, and it's well lit, it's all furnished, and it's like he's not suffering and he's not struggling. And I was like, I don't understand why his dad said not to be like Uncle Aaron. Uncle Aaron's living a pretty posh life. And I didn't put two and two together until, this part where like he's the obvious, he walked in the apartment and it's like, oh, okay, this is the part where we learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it still had like a strong emotional sting to it, because the first chase is just so intense, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah, just all the camera angling and everything just to make it more intense.
Oh yeah, and it's real good. And not only that, but watching it my second time, I still was like, on the first chase, I was still like, I know what happens, but still, this is still intense. Third time, I was like, I know what happens. I'm not really breathing heavy, but this is just very well done. The music is just so good. It has like this synthesized animal roars, and it's just they actually use kind of like that sound a lot. Like when you first meet Burrito Parker, they kind of like use it a little bit, and also like it's in a few of the songs, like in the background, kind of like as like a motif of like of Miles and his family, and it's a real nice touch. Even if it's like just a light version of it, it's still really effective.
Yep.
One of the things I like that they changed from the comics to the movie about Uncle Aaron is, in the comics, Aaron definitely did care about Miles, or at least it seemed. Where in the comics, he was actually just more or less using Miles.
Aww.
But then in the actual movie, I like it a lot more that Aaron actually cares about Miles and is supportive.
Yeah, he supports his art. He's like, hey, let me go show you a spot.
And it's very much, it's established that he doesn't want Miles to be part of his world.
Yeah, and it just creates a sort of actual connection to him. Whereas if he was just how he was in the comics,
right.
As soon as he would die, no one would care.
Yeah, nobody would.
Everyone would be like, good riddance.
About time.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it really tugs on your emotional heartstrings. I'm not gonna lie though, that when they get to the part where like he discovers that it's Miles, and then like he makes that choice not to kill him. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw that part, and he like lifts up, he like puts down the mask, I thought he was just going to kill for the kill. And he just didn't want to see his face, and I was like, "Oh my God, this man is so cold-blooded." I was like, "Oh wait, no, he's cool." I was
see, knowing that Miles is the protagonist, I kind of knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Well, I thought he was just gonna try to go for the kill anyways, and then someone would save him or something would happen.
See, that wasn't my thought. I don't know what I was thinking at the moment, but it was definitely like. It wasn't that he was going to try and kill him, because from the earlier scenes, I was like, yeah, Aaron cares way too much about Miles to go for the kill. Like, he's gonna turn and be at least on Miles' side. And then he got killed! And just thinking about that, even after just thinking about it, I start wanting to cry because in the movie theater, I was starting to cry as it happened. And I was just like, oh no.
Honestly, the part that got me more was just the brother when he discovered him, and then you could see just the mixed emotions.
That whole
he's
sequence.
crying and he's like angry and he's
Okay, that was also in like the Get Me an APB on.
Yeah, there's a new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's a new Spider-Man.
See, that was in trailers too.
Hey,
what's going on? What's going on?
Slow clap.
What's going on?
We got a straggler. What's
going on?
One more time.
Yeah, one.
What's going on here?
On up in here.
What's
up
going
in here?
There's something else that's going on.
Like, we really need to lock that door. Like, all these creepy people keep coming in.
Yeah,
just like that creepy man in that corner. Like,
I thought we told you to leave.
Yeah, we told that creepy man in the corner to leave.
He's just watching us.
Yeah. It's.
Yes, they're all on.
Yep.
All right, let's do this one last time.
Oh, we better do this one last time.
My name is Shadow Spider, and 20 years ago I watched Spider-Man the Animated Series and loved it, and I am a huge Spider-Man fan.
That's it? You don't have any backstory?
How, like,
I thought that was the backstory.
Why are you a Shadow Spider?
Yeah, did you
explained
get
why I'm a tree.
Yeah, like, did you get in, like, a shadow boxing match with a spider, and then it uppercutted you, and then somehow you found spider powers?
No, but that would be cooler. No, I'm... Okay, fine. The reason...
You just watched the comics? Or you just watched the cartoon?
Yeah, and called it a night.
And then you became the spider?
It was at night, so that, because it was at
100
night.
issues a night for 10 nights, then you woke
Let's see. I've watched most of the shows except for that MTV one. I've read a good amount of the comics.
How does that make you the
watched
Shadow
the-
Spider?
Okay.
I explained how I was the host of the show, and he explained how he was the co-host, and
I explained how I'm a tree.
he's a tree.
Yeah.
It's a tree.
Okay, the way I got my name actually has nothing to do with Spider-Man, unfortunately. It was me and my friends used to play military in this tree nursery thing that was right near our house. And I was really good at it, so I was really good at hiding and climbing the trees for cover. And since we would usually play kind of at sunset, I don't know, they kind of just, they would always say, like, you're really good at hiding and, like, you fucking climb the trees like a spider, and it just kind of became a thing where they just kind of nicknamed me Shadow Spider.
Oh. That climbing trees thing doesn't sound like it would bite you in the ass later on in your life anyways. So we were talking about this movie about Spooderman. Do you want to give us your general impressions on it? I guess we're still on that, I guess.
The movie sucked. No, kidding. I like the movie. I love the movie. I don't know if I would say it's the best Spider-Man movie. I think...
Well, I mean, it's not. Spider-Man 1's the best because it has the Green Goblin, and he's just like...
I can't say anything about the Raimi or Andrew Garfield movies.
No, and there's that famous
when
line.
I watched him, I was like 12 and younger.
I mean, I watched them when I was 12 and younger, and I still love them.
Yeah, and there's that famous line from Goblin's Eye. It's not gay if you're not receiving.
See, I don't remember any of that.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
You can always watch them on like Netflix.
The last one came out when I was, I think, before the Iron Man movie, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I was younger than 8.
Yeah, it's Spider.
No, the Andrew Garfield movies came out way after Iron Man.
Yeah, but who cares about those movies? They're not real.
I don't think
Like,
I ever went to see those.
I don't like that Spider-Man who said he loves lasagna and hates Mondays.
Yeah. Instead, we want Spider-Man who fights the man who goes...
Okay, one thing I did hear, though, is the scene when Peter's just like, let's do this one last time. All those scenes were scenes from the Raimi trilogies.
They were kind of altered scenes. Yeah, they were like slightly altered. The implication is, well, the Peter Rip Parker is kind of like an altered version where everything went right for that Raimi Spider-Man. And originally in the movie, Tobey Maguire was going to be Peter Burrito Parker.
Yeah, the director even said that basically the older Peter in this movie is supposed to be the Tobey Maguire Peter, and they actually wanted to get him in to do the voice, which I wish they had.
Yeah,
like,
I would have watched this movie 5 times then.
Well, because it's like he's done voice acting before, so it's not like this isn't something that he hasn't done.
Yeah, definitely the cast of the original Spider-Man movies, they all have done voice acting at some point. Hey, even like J.K. Simmons does lends his voice for a lot of the J. Jonah stuff.
Well, to be fair, it's like he's literally...
Yeah, he literally is just...
Yeah, he is J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Honestly, I really like Jake Johnson as Breeder.
Can you not call him that? That's disgusting and creepy and demeaning to...
As what?
Okay, so the
Just
B,
call him Burrito Parker.
Yeah.
The B in Peter B. Parker was Burrito.
Yep.
So I suggested last night when talking with some friends, Burrito.
Well, I mean, technically it's not. Technically it's supposed to be Benjamin.
But
but
no, Burrito's
the movie,
here to stay.
Yeah.
The movie.
Actually, to be fair, they recently came out and said that when they were talking about the Peter Parkers,
they called him Rip Peter.
For the blonde one, R.I. Peter is what the studio would call the blonde one, and then Peter Burrito Parker is the slubby one.
Yep.
But yeah. So you like the movie? And...
I like the movie. I don't think it's the great. Oh, that's cool. I don't think it's the greatest.
Now I have to throw that up.
Oh, yeah, that tweet. It's easily fine. I'll send you a link on Tumblr.
Here's the thing.
If you're cheap using Tumblr.
Here, I have the link right here.
Here's the thing. I think from a fan perspective, yes, it is the greatest Spider-Man movie ever because it has so much stuff that is very obviously shout-outs for the fans and stuff that is meant for the fans to follow and get and all that. I can't call it the greatest Spider-Man movie ever because technically it's not as coherent as a movie because so much of it relies on you understanding the lore.
No.
A decent amount.
No. I don't.
It's a good abridged one.
See, aside from the basics of Spider-Man, I actually don't know much about Spider-Man. The Spider-Man I know about is Miles Morales. And the
through this
movie,
or through the game?
Through reading his origins, like not the actual comic, but like all the
information
stuff around his history. I don't know much about Peter's history. I don't know much about any of the other Spider people. I didn't know any of the other Spider people other than like Spider-Gwen, but that's because my friend's gay for her.
And yeah, like I've only read snippets and like some very very small synopsis of Ham, Penny, and Noir. And honestly, yeah, just even though it's just that brief one, I totally get like what's going on.
Getting the fucking spider, Penny.
But no, I think that the movie makes it very clear and makes you understand what a Spider-Man is, what he does.
Yep.
Well, then I have a question. Since you know more about Miles...
Oh, wait. I just have a quick question. Brian, how many times have you seen the movie?
I have only seen it once, but that was because I...
people not coming.
This is the side where people see it 2 or more times.
Well, that's because I only...
Yeah, you're the 1 in 1 club.
That's because I only saw it last weekend with Mark because he wanted
one
to...
middle finger.
Because Mark wanted to see it, so I was kind of waiting until he was free. Okay, since you know about Miles, here's a question, because this is something I've kind of heard, and I was wondering how true it was. Okay, Miles in this movie basically acts like Peter Parker. Like, he is basically young.
Not
really
at all. Like,
no, he actually acts... Really. In the comics, he acted more like Peter. It's actually, in the movie, he's gotten more of his own personality in it.
Oh, Nathan's breaking out the banana flask. Oh.
What?
Oh.
What?
Oh, so now we have a new segment on the show. What is Nathan drinking?
Oh, okay.
Nathan,
there we go.
Banana juice?
I'm assuming it's just whiskey this time.
Because, I mean, another thing I've heard is that Peter in Homecoming, like, they basically made him a lot more like Miles.
In Homecoming, he acted, he still seemed like Peter with the Ben, Aunt May, and all that. But he did have hints of Miles being a protege to another hero.
See, I've heard they ripped a lot of Miles for that Peter.
Yeah.
Other than like
getting
very,
the suit,
other
getting
than
the suit from someone else.
other than
'cause-
various like names, like just Liz being around or Aunt May being around, because none of them really, except for Liz, none of them really factored into Homecoming's story.
Yeah.
But no, like
Honestly,
this
yeah,
Miles is
it's
very,
very much his own thing.
Yeah, like there was no part where like a kid pushes him up against a wall and is like, "I'm gonna beat you up, Miles," and then he goes and backflips, and then like he goes back to his Uncle Aaron's house, and Aaron's like, "You shouldn't have gotten to that fight, Peter. That would have been bad." And then he's all like, "Whatever, Uncle Aaron. I'm gonna go to wrestling." And then he goes and meets. Oh,
but like, okay, in the comics with Miles, his reason for being Spider-Man is not as I have to do this, I promise, Peter. What happened in the comics is that Miles, he had his spider powers for actually a while. He just didn't want to be Spider-Man. He wanted to be a normal kid, so that stayed the same in the movie. But the way he became Spider-Man in the comics was
the
that,
ultimate Peter died. That much I do know.
No, yeah, Peter died. But Miles didn't see that. He, he kind of did. Cause
he saw it on the
his
news.
spider sense, actually, his spider sense is really strong. So he had a dream about it before it actually happened. But yeah, no, he wasn't there when Peter died. So he heard about it on the news. So he felt like he had to
step up.
He had to step up and be Spider-Man. Whereas that, it makes sense, but it's like he didn't have to step up because he didn't know Peter Parker personally.
Yeah.
It's very, very close to almost Kane's origin story of how he became a Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, and then but with the movie, Miles was there when Peter died. Miles had said he was going to try and shut down. He was like, I'll help try and shut down the machine. So that actually fits a lot better because it makes him. It gives him reason to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. It gives him a direct connection to it.
Yeah.
And, well, no, you finish first.
No,
I'll go my turn. Okay. I'm actually going to strongly disagree with you, and that's because the events don't have to be the exact same for them to have pretty much the same meaning. Like, you were talking about, there's no scene where, like, Flash, bullies him. It's like, he still has that similar thing of he's an outcast at school, and because of his powers, he's trying to fit in, and
Miles isn't, in the, in Visions, he's kind of outcast because he's the new kid.
To be fair, I think it's mostly just in his head, though.
Yeah, it's very, very much.
It is, but
smart. He is smart, and he could fit in if he just relaxed, but he doesn't want to because he wants to be with his actual friends. Who when you start the movie, you see he is pretty popular with his friends. As he's walking down the street, he's talking to all these different people like, "Hey, we miss you here."
I was like, "Oh, they missed me."
Yeah, it's very much like I've grew up with the animated series, and like I've watched through pretty much a good portion of the '90s series, nearly all of Spectacular, and nearly all of Ultimate, and just comparing and contrasting. Yes, like Miles is clearly like completely different from Peter. Like,
he's a different person. I don't look at Miles and say, "Oh, that's just Peter Parker." No, this is a very different person.
Like he has his own hobbies.
It's in the comics that
he has
very
some
much
differences,
like
but I felt like a lot of it was Peter because it's like you don't need Flash for the school outcast thing to still be a thing. You still have he's motivated by a sense of I have to do this.
Let him finish.
He's motivated by a sense of I have to do this, versus you were saying Miles is just kind of like steps up because he thinks the world needs a Spider-Man. He's later motivated strongly by my uncle died because of me. That's a very strong sense that comes in him. He believes he has to do it for Peter because Peter died because of his interference, and then later his uncle dies because of his interference. He's got the school thing going on where, yes, part of it's in his head, but part of it is the school kind of looking at him like a weirdo. He's got the obviously smart, but trying to not be noticed at school and try and keep kind of a low profile. there are differences between the two, obviously. There's, the big difference of he wants to be a street artist and stuff like that. But I do think there is a lot of the Peter Parker formula merged into this.
Yeah. But in the movie, he's definitely more of his own character. Whereas when you compare it to the comics, he was pretty much just Peter
And
Parker.
and very much so. If they even, since they did sprinkle, I'm not going to say, oh, they didn't, but they did sprinkle some of that Peter into Miles, but that's pretty much just to compare and contrast the differences.
Yeah, it's just so you have a little taste of it. They do they are both smart and they both are trying to keep a low profile, but personality-wise, I don't see them as the same person.
Definitely Miles has a lot more confidence.
Yeah, a lot more
charisma to Peter.
Yeah.
Miles has a lot more charisma. I don't know about confidence. I think Peter had a lot more confidence because 75% of this movie is Miles having no confidence in what he's doing.
Well, he has no confidence
not
in
wanting
his spider
to do
abilities because
Yeah.
he just got them. But when you see him with school stuff, he has confidence. He's like, oh, I can completely fail this test by getting 0%. Or
But that was
just
all-
his confidence when he's walking down the street talking to people.
Yeah, or at the very end, you can see that he has his own flair and his own, or when he has that moment where he's like, I am Spider-Man, I have full control over my powers.
He has his own flair and charisma. In terms of the smart thing, that was always the one area Peter was confident in. He was not confident at all when it came to doing the Spider-Man thing. He was not confident at all when it came to social issues. The one area he was confident in was his schoolwork, because that was the one area he knew he could just do it without even trying. So I will say, yes, Miles is definitely much more confident when it comes to social interactions. He definitely has that confidence and that charisma.
I think in the next one, he's probably going to show a lot more confidence as Spider-Man, because this movie was an origin movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
very
meant
much
to
so.
be Miles coming into the role of Spider-Man. That's actually something I saw pointed out was how he dresses. In the first part of the first act, he's in his normal clothes. Then he gets on the costume of Spider-Man, which it's he's just living in Spider-Man's shadow,
Yeah, it's very
trying to live up to that.
Yeah, very almost Halloween makeshift. It's clearly not the real thing.
Which that he actually did in the comics. He did dress. And then when he gets his suit after being able to somewhat control his powers, I don't want to say completely controlled his powers because I have a feeling they're gonna handicap him a little bit more because his powers definitely can cause problems because he can turn invisible and stun people. They're gonna need to figure out something to limit that because otherwise he could just turn invisible, sneak up behind everyone, stun them.
That's
get in,
that's
get
one
out.
thing I've heard about the comics is
They forget he has powers.
Well, no. I've heard later on they become very reliant on the stun as a kind of a deus ex machina where it's used a lot just to stop whatever big bad guy is at the end, where they kind of build up tension and it's just, oh, spider stun, I win.
Yeah.
I've heard that becomes a bit of a problem.
But yeah, back to the costume. After he gets his suit, he still has the street, the jacket and the hoodie over it,
And his
his
shoes.
shorts. And it shows that he is he's becoming Spider-Man.
But in
his
own
own
way,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
But he's not completely there yet. And then it's once he's gotten rid of the jacket and the shorts that it's he's Spider-Man. He's his own Spider-Man.
And honestly, it's going to be a lot more evident on it's not new Peter Parker in the later films, because they already got a handle on he's his own thing. We just need more films just to emphasize that.
Yeah.
I do think Miles has stuff that makes him different. I do think in the second movie he will be a much different character and not as similar to Peter, but I do think his origin hits a lot of those same beats.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's pretty much a lot of replacement superheroes' origins. They're too close.
A lot of that
And,
as I said in the comics, Miles and Peter were pretty much exactly the same. He's, at least in this movie, Miles is a little more himself other than just a carbon copy of Peter.
Yeah, but I still don't. I mean, I see the whole like, they have school problems, but that's very general.
Like
honestly.
every teenage kid has school problems.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's not a lot of teenage superheroes in Marvel to, make that difference.
I wouldn't say that. We got Viv.
We got
Braun.
We got a lot of the X-Men. We got.
But the X-Men haven't.
Young Cyclops.
The X-Men never really dealt with
Kamala
high school.
Khan,
Kamala Khan.
Samuel Alexander.
Yeah,
Nova.
we now have like the Young Avengers.
The champions.
Recently, we've gotten more high school, but like the X-Men never really dealt with high school problems because the X-Men school was a school for mutants.
Wasn't X-Men Evolution just about that?
X-Men Evolution was. X-Men Evolution was.
Older high school, young college, from what I remember.
Yep.
X-Men Evolution was a show.
But except for X-Men Evolution, they rarely had to deal with the high school life stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel has done teenage superheroes before, and it's does follow that formula and stuff.
Okay, between Homecoming and the Spider-Verse, I've seen it split between which is better.
It's apple and oranges at this point. They're both
because it's apple and oranges. Because I've seen Miles is definitely the Spider-Verse is definitely more of a Spider-Man Spider-Man Miles movie.
What about Spider-Man 1?
Okay. No, that falls under...
I was younger than 8. I don't think I can talk about that.
And that also falls under, you need to compare it to, the Raimi, the Garfield, and
do we really need to talk about the Garfield?
No, we don't really need to. The first film was okay, then it kind of...
Yeah.
I've never seen the second one, and I don't plan ever
I haven't seen any of those, and I've refused to.
With Homecoming, it's a good movie, but as a Spider-Man movie, it's not a Spider-Man movie.
That's what I've always said about that movie is...
It's more of a tie-in for everything.
Yeah.
Not only that, but when you think about all those Marvel movies, a lot of them do flow into each other, and it's hard to sit down and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna watch this Spider-Man movie."
Well, I mean, one thing I've always said is that a lot of the Homecoming movie feels more like a Robin movie than a Spider-Man movie.
But this movie, if I were just to watch, if you gave me child and said, Anthony, you must introduce your child to Spider-Man, and you can't go and make them watch Spider-Man 1, 2, or 3, and I'm like, God damn it, I would probably pick Spider-Verse because...
No Spectacular? No animated series?
No animated.
I'm just saying.
Movies.
I only have a movie to show them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their first introduction to Spider-Man on the big screen.
Yeah. Then I'd probably just go and put on this movie because it's the little kid won't will understand. Oh, Peter Parker, he's done this. They explain everything very fast, and it does it all. And even if I can't go and show him the photo,
Yeah. Also, what you keep saying about Miles and Spider-Verse being very similar to Peter, I think that also comes in the fact that Peter B is supposed to be sort of a foil to Miles.
Yeah. It's very much so that he's a foil.
That Peter B being the foil, there was the whole Miles being more like Peter. That's a fan nitpick I have. That is something I will fully admit comes from a fan perspective, and is filtered somewhat through my own kind of
bias.
Yeah, nostalgia bias. I am fully willing to admit when something that I have a problem with is due to fan perspective.
Well, I'm glad we're able to establish that.
Yep.
So the movie's perfect. It has a rectangle in it.
No. Because now I'm going to get on the one very small problem I have with it as a movie in and of itself. And that is Miles' click from bumbling to being able to do whatever. It happens in an instant.
Yeah, that's... I think, that's the only thing that's he learned too fast, but...
Yeah.
I think that's because they needed it. They needed to.
I don't. Okay, as someone who's seen this movie 3 times, I would like to point out that, like, literally the first time Miles is being chased by Scary Music Batman, he's very quick moving. He knows how to get around.
Yeah, we're talking about the invisibility stun.
Yeah. I think, I mean, to be fair...
And the super parkour. Well, I can
No, the parkour, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay,
like,
actually, no.
Parkour,
like, I can see it because, like, he has the basis down.
He has the basis down.
He doesn't have the body for it, but then suddenly, spider powers.
Yeah, he has the body for it. And
he doesn't have he has the body, he doesn't have the coordination.
But he has, like, the basics down, and, like, I think that the big moment of, like, he had to, like, focus and realize and, like, kind of calm down when he was, like, sitting in the chair. I think that's when everything just kind of clicked for him.
I get where you're coming from. I don't like that idea of all it takes is a click.
Well,
I think there needed to be some kind of training sequence.
I mean, he was getting trained the whole movie.
Well, maybe even not with the Spider-Man, but just some very quick thing where he's training himself to actually, get it down.
I feel like that would have made it too clunky to have
I think that would have bloated it a little. I think the part where, like, he's sitting on the building and he jumps off and he shatters the windows. It's not perfect, but he's getting it, and you can see him, like, he's swinging and he's still flailing his legs a bit, and he's not getting the timing of the swinging just yet, but he's getting there. He already had a good base, as you can see with the Scary Batman chase, and he was already athletic as it was, as you can see, like, early on in the movie. He's, like, slapping the stickers in places, and he's hoping his dad doesn't see it, and he's athletic already, but I do think, though, his biggest problem, like, throughout the movie was that he didn't have a chance to sit down and relax. Everyone's telling him throughout the movie, just fucking relax, just calm down, and then when he's, like, stuck in the chair and he can't move, all he can do is just kind of focus on how he feels and just finally just let it flow out, and then that's when he uses the Venom Strike to free himself, and he's like, okay.
I think that's good because it was a chance for him to focus, but I think in the final fight, he should have still had a bit of the
stumbling
about.
I could see that.
I think either he still should have been stumbling to a better degree, or, like I said, I think a good place to maybe put a very minor training sequence would be when he's making the suit. Maybe that underground layer has an obstacle course that he kind of runs.
No, that would have made it too.
It wouldn't have worked because literally it's like this is like an hour before Doomsday happens.
I can give. My counter argument is this, though: when he was fighting the rectangle, he wasn't in full control. He was still messing up with the invisibility. He didn't get the Venom Strike until the very end, and he wasn't really in full combat mode.
Well, no, he didn't use the Venom Strike until the very end. He still had full control.
You can when they're in the subway car, you can see that he's trying to charge it in the fight, and the rectangle's just whooping his ass, and he's just tossing him about. He doesn't know how to fight, and actually that's where he's flailing. He knows the acrobatics a bit because he's gotten training on that, but he doesn't know how to fight fully yet.
I wish there was a bit more of that throughout the whole fight, not just with Rectangle, but with all the other villains too. The slight fumbling of trying to get the stun to go, or trying to go invisible.
I think for the invisibility, I think that he has a good grasp on how it works, because in the final part, he was, even though with the fight with the rectangle, he was flubbing it up a bit. But before that, you can tell that he's kind of got a good handle on it. It's just the Venom Strike is the only thing he still needs to work on. I do think that the part where he's like dodging the two buildings, I think that's just him trying to show off that, like, yo, I can do this now and I got this.
Yeah. I mean, they also could have done a little bit more with Pierre, like, teaching him stuff throughout.
No.
Not really, because it wouldn't fit, like, Burrito Peter's personality.
Yeah. Well, because there is that point where they're swinging where he's trying to teach him.
Yeah. That's because he's kind of
like, we need to go.
We can't stay here. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Whereas, and also, Peter doesn't have the stun or the invisibility.
Yep. Oh no, I'm not saying he could. No, I know Peter couldn't.
Basic fighting moves. You could also infer that someone taught him. Like, had there been a little bit more time with
And
the
also,
spider
you can argue that Miles knew how to fight because his dad's a cop.
And his uncle.
And yeah, his uncle.
He flat out admits, though, like, when Noir goes up to him, he's like, yo, do you know how to fight? And he's like, oh, I kind of do. But he does pick up how to fight real fast. I mean, he does use the Noir move on Burrito Parker later on to go and trip him up.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not expecting Peter to be able to teach him how to use the electro thing, but maybe some pointers on how to navigate the spider sense, I think, would have been cool.
No.
It's like,
because that's sort of
like
just
none
a
of the spider.
sense.
Yeah, none of the spider people like know how it works. It's just
no. Peter has. Yeah. I'm drawing kind of on the comics. Peter has made comments on how best to kind of go with the spider sense, like how to better use it and.
But man, I'm not gonna lie. The use of spider sense in this movie was actually really well done, especially the first time when it's just watch out and it's just screaming at him. That's such a the use of text in this movie is so fucking good. I love the way that it's almost just like a comic book, and you have these moments like when he's walking in the snow and he's just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and you see the little thought bubbles, and you can pause it right there, and it would look like a comic. Like the panel, like the way that it's laid out and the way that it's like it's made to look like a comic, and the bubbles and little sound effects, they're used sparingly but effectively when they need to go and use them for either a comedic effect or just like to go and show a certain thing. They use them very well. That's something I really want to knock
Bagel.
on this movie. Yeah, like Bagel.
To go back to my spider sense point just for 1 second, one of the things I know Peter has said is that one of the things he had to learn was how to filter out small dangers from real dangers, where like his spider sense would go wild because there's stuff flying everywhere, and how to filter. Basically, he had to learn how to filter out the immediate dangers to the minor dangers of stuff just flying in the background.
But we didn't need we don't need that in the movie, because while there's probably a chance that during that last fight there was probably a lot of spider sense, they didn't have to animate it in because he knows it's there, it's happening.
Not even looking at it from a training perspective, I think that would have made a neat scene between Peter and Miles of like,
but then again,
his spider sense keeps going and he's just like doesn't know how to kind of filter it out, and Peter, kind of like in Superman, there's often scenes where he's trying to get control of his senses because there's too much information at once.
But the problem with that is those are live action movies. This is like an animated movie at like the max you can go with an animated movie.
This movie is very compact, and they have a lot of shit
and
going
literally
to the point where the last 3 spider people like had to share like, oh, this is our screen, this is our origin story at the same time.
And very much like if anything else was added, it would just bog down the movie. Like they needed to, like they were very, very smart on what they need to add in and what they needed to keep out.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys both missed it, but Nathan and I were both saying, like, one of Nathan's few complaints was that he wanted more noir, he wanted more ham, but...
Oh, yeah. I would have loved more noir and more ham.
But yeah, it's very much...
But they wouldn't.
You couldn't.
They wouldn't.
Like, the only possibility is introduce them, like, early on in the film, but that would also...
be a problem.
Yeah, it would throw a lot of things out of whack.
And to be fair, it's like they're not really the focus of the movie, despite the fact that I love noir and he's my favorite and he's the best girl.
They're definitely secondary, tertiary.
Yeah, but like they're still but they're still like important, and I'm glad that they
got decent amount of screen time.
And I love that they didn't just treat Ham as a joke. I'm glad that Ham didn't say, like, when they were talking about, oh, who did we lose, that I'm glad Ham didn't go and say, oh, I lost my best friend to the hot dog factory, and then he eats a hot dog. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad he was the one who said the hardest thing about this job is the people you can't save, and it's very mature. It shows even in the silliest universe,
there's maturity.
It's just being Spider-Man sucks.
Yep.
Since we're on Spider-Ham,
it's not all pointing at people.
John Mulaney
Yeah?
as Spider-Ham was great.
I don't really... I've heard he's a really funny comedian.
He is. Just, you can look up a lot of his videos, and I could, like, watching Kid Gorgeous and all those things that are on Netflix, like, I could sit there and be like, yeah, I could see Spider-Ham saying all this.
Yeah, isn't that just his normal voice?
Yeah, I think for the most part, Spider-Ham, the way John Mulaney voiced him, was pretty much his normal voice.
Yeah.
Just
very much.
slightly more stand-up style.
Yeah, very much that cartoony feel to it.
Yeah.
Like, and also, yeah, just going into the voice work, like, everybody did an amazing job.
Nick Cage finally got to play a good superhero.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you not see Kick-Ass?
I did not, no.
Then you don't.
Okay. Nick Cage as
Noir.
As Noir really fit. Like,
It was so
Because it does have
good.
that,
Yeah.
like, that noir feel to it. And
Something
just-
kind of interesting about Noir is, in the comics, he is actually a horrible fighter. Like, when it comes to actually, like, fisticuffs, like Noir Spider-Man, it absolutely sucks, and that's why he sticks to the shadows so much.
That's actually
It's
really
because
funny.
he is actually...
I think, yeah, he's one of the only Spider-Man in, like, you know, the Spider-Verse storyline that has a handgun on him at all times.
That's actually
Yeah,
really
that's
funny.
why he carries the gun, because
Yeah.
he is absolute shit when it comes to fisticuffs.
That's actually really funny because they try to make him like seem the brawler type when he goes and puts his hat over Tombstone's face and fucking decks him in the mouth, and you're just like, oh, I just love you so much.
okay, see, but that's also a very simple move to do.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's very... Yeah, a lot of his, like, you know, hand-to-hand, it was all about deception.
Yeah, you're not
and
wrong.
just-
He did scream out surprise attack like 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I love him so much. I think it's just in the commercial though, but there was, I think that the whole like I don't do well with colors thing was the commercial, and I thought that was in a movie, and I got that mixed up, and I was like, God damn, thank God I didn't see this with.
I love
or
that-
else he
I
would've
love
made fun of
that-
the fact I'm colorblind.
I love that ending in the credits where it's like he's showing off the Rubik's Cube,
Yeah.
like in the gallery.
Yeah, because it perplexes him.
I love
God,
that.
I love him so much. I'm so excited if they do a sequel that they bring him back, because
They are gonna do a sequel.
They are doing a sequel. I don't know if they're
doing
gonna
a
bring
Spider-Woman
him.
one. I don't know if they're bringing back Norm.
I just want
I've heard they might actually bring in the Tokusetsu one.
Yes! God,
The Japanese
I
Spider-Man.
just want Toei Spider-Man in that movie.
Nathan, do you want to go and talk about Toy Spider-Man for
Oh
like
my
5
God.
minutes?
Yes, I will love to talk about Toei Spider-Man. So, back in the 70s and stuff, for whatever reason, Marvel looked at Toei, who did your Super Sentais.
No. I think Spider-Man predates the Super Sentai.
No,
I think he's the he's at the very least the reason they have the giant robots.
Let me talk about Tetsusaku Spider-Man.
But yeah, so Toei already had Kamen Rider and basically 2 Super Sentais under the belt, and so I don't know how it came about. Like, Marvel came up to them and was like, "Hey, you want to make like a Marvel series?" And they're all like, "Yeah, we do need like the shows under our belt and stuff." And so they made like the most Japanese Spider-Man you can think of, the most just inflections in his voice. He was constantly posing, and you can actually find like for a good 3 months, I think in 2015, it was just Tokusatsu Spider-Man memes, like stuff like screenshots of him walking around smacking things with a wrench, or him picking up a machine gun and just like firing at a crowd of goons. And just due to the popularity of it, Super Sentai adapted a lot of the tropes, like the giant mechs and stuff. And interestingly enough, the Tokusatsu Spider-Man was one of Stan Lee's favorite live-action adaptations, because during that time, Marvel was also getting into the TV business, and they did have a brief, like, Western Spider-Man one. But the problem was, the actor would refuse to do the stunts because he was afraid of heights. They didn't have any practical effects at all, and the suit looked crap. So, it just turned into, like, the definitive like live action series for the longest time.
Until the
Raimi films. But oh my god, I just love it. I just love Tokusatsu Spider-Man.
Yeah, and apparently if this movie does well enough, he'll be in the next one, which it's fucking hard to get tickets to this movie because every time I try to go and see it, it's always fucking full, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, both our screenings were like late night showings.
Yeah, and they were still pretty packed.
It's actually... Box office wise, it's doing okay. I wouldn't say it's a phenomenal hit. The last time
it's made back like all its money already.
Well, yeah,
At least
yeah.
4 times over.
Yeah.
No. The last time I checked, which was less than a week ago, it was worldwide overall. It was about 200.
Well, let's just talk about the
which
movie.
is just over double. But that's just over double its production budget. That's not taking into account marketing and everything.
It was like they said it was like $50 million for production and stuff.
No, the production budget was $91 million.
Huh.
Well, let's just not get into the minutia of it.
All right.
But anything else we just kind of want to talk about? We don't got too much time left. So I guess we missed talking to you about this. But how did you like the twist, Brian? Did you fall for both of them, or did you only fall for one of them, or?
Which twists?
Prowler.
Oh, well,
it's Scary Music Batman and that my new fetish.
And Doc Ock.
Prowler I already knew about because I had heard about that being a thing in his comic books.
Oh, okay.
Female Doc Ock I was genuinely surprised about, but at the same time, it wore off really fast because I knew that a female Doc Ock did exist in the comics.
But, like, it still caught you off guard.
It caught me off guard. I didn't expect it, but the second it happened, I'm just like, oh, that must be the Doc Ock from that version.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's actually I was actually talking to Nathan about this because apparently there was like a couple of people getting mad about this online about the fact that, like, when Doc Ock usually is around, he's kind of like chubby and fat, and female Doc Ock is like very thin. And, like, people are like, yo.
Mousy.
Yeah, she's, like, thin and mousy. And then they're like, yo, what the fuck? Why can't she be thick? And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Well, why can't she be thick? And then they're like, no, Anthony, shut up.
Yeah, I slapped you across the head. I'm all like, they actually established it, like, in 2 scenes. Like, her first introduction in, like, her film talking about alternate dimensions. She's on, like, her bike, just going down, like, a biking path. And then when she shows up again, she's walking into the office with her bike.
Yeah, it's implied that she bikes a hell of a lot.
Yep.
That's why she's not fat.
Yep.
I agree. In the comics, she actually is decently thin. I think she actually is very slightly built in the comics.
Yeah, but, like, that's just something that, like, that just goes to the movie's credit. It just has these minor details that get to you. Like, on the third viewing, I noticed that when the spider's running around and it's like the spider that's going to bite Miles is running around, when it hops on the spray cans, it blends into the color of the spray cans. Like, it'll be blue when it's on the blue one, it's orange on the orange one, and it's showing you, oh, this is why Miles has his color change power, because the spider already had a camouflage power to begin with. And I guess the neon was supposed to be like the electricity, but there's apparently a spider that can actually use static cling to use its webbing, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yep.
Isn't static cling more or less how spiders use their sticking ability? At least some of them.
There's some of them do, but yeah, there are spiders that they use static electricity on their webbing to trap things.
That's why he has superpowers, not because he's black, but you know.
You want to talk about, you know, the government mandated
shout out to Kaufman, who had the best take on this movie. Of it's just the story of a young youth getting his government mandated black electric powers.
I mean, it's not wrong. I think there's a lot of black superheroes where it's like their power is electricity manipulation or
static.
Something to do with static, black lightning. I don't know if
Black
you can
Black Vulcan,
Storm. I don't know if you can count Cyborg because he is technically like technology.
But technology needs electricity.
Yeah, so
Cyborg.
it's a very loose way of adding him to that.
There's a lot of them. I actually
Riri.
Ironheart.
Then, like, the Chinese are trying to muscle in on that electricity power.
No, they're a minority. What power do we give them? Electricity.
Now, Chinese superheroes, oddly enough, tend to get super strength the most out of everything.
I thought they would get fire or some reason.
I was talking about...
Fire is the other... No, fire goes to the Japanese superheroes.
Yep. But no, I was talking about Electric Chinese Batman.
Oh, Electric Chinese Batman! God, watch Darker Than Black, kids. It's a good anime, and then don't watch season 2, because then you're gonna be like the main character and just be sad and drunk the whole time,
pulling out his flask whenever he can.
Yeah, it's the weirdest show. It's
summoning gun is like the biggest waste of a superpower.
Summoning,
ever.
Yeah, it's just
actually no, it's summoning anti-tank rifle that has a bullet in the barrel, and you got 3 more rounds in your pocket.
That's so fucking stupid. Then again, then there was that dude who was like, I could go and have telekinesis, but then I gotta break my fingers after.
Oh god, yeah, that was like the worst trick.
And then there was the person who was literally just the Flash, because it's like, I have super speed, but I have to eat burgers after. Because I have to eat 12 burgers.
Okay.
Which is just a reference to Flash. But yeah, back to the movie, because we only have 10 minutes. So are you two gonna go and see it multiple times now, or?
I want to try to.
Brian?
Maybe.
As someone who has seen it 3 times, the first time I was like, fuck, I need to see this movie with this goddamn rectangle man again, because I fucking love this shit. The second time I was still like riding that high of rectangle man, and to the point where everyone in the car was, Anthony, can you like not praise this movie and use the word rectangle and or
That's
man?
one thing I really like. I like that they give Fisk a believable motivation for why he's willing to go to these extremes.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
dude, yeah.
And even if my newest fetish was actually the real villain, because she knew that wouldn't work in the end. She just wanted to build her super collider.
And actually, yeah, they got Fisk's personality like down to a T, because a lot of it in the comics, he's pretty happy with, like street level crime and everything, because that what makes the money. But he only goes to that extreme if something terrible happens to him.
Yeah. Not only that, but just his voice is real good, and it's just he makes for a real good villain. And this is the first Spider-Man movie that doesn't I think it's the first one post Raimi that doesn't use a villain that Raimi was gonna use, because Raimi was gonna use Lizard 4, and then he was gonna use Vulture, and Amazing Spider-Man had Lizard, and then Homecoming had Vulture, and so now
I still always find it ironic how they kind of switched the Lizard and Doc Ock stories between the Raimi and the Garfield movie.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But and then he was gonna fight Black Cat, but then that didn't happen. So
yeah.
But so I'm glad that they just were like, this is gonna be the rectangle movie, and we're gonna make him a rectangle. And I'm like, God damn it, France, you didn't have to do that, but you made him a rectangle, and I fucking love it. Yeah, it's just his voice is real good. He's like we were saying earlier, you missed it, but we're just saying that he had a commanding presence to him at all times, and it was fucking beautiful.
Okay, here's a good question. What villain would you like to see in the sequel?
I was telling Nathan this, but I hope that they actually do that they pull villains from different universes.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Especially because
They have the-
in Spider-Pig's universe, he fights Sand Manatee. And I was like, I want to see Sand Manatee go up against Miles Morales, and Miles is like, electroshock. He's like, I'm made of sand. That doesn't work on me.
I mean, they very slightly did in this movie, because the Goblin in the opening looks not very.
He's not my Goblin.
He doesn't look. He looks a bit more like the Ultimate Green Goblin, where he's like a hulking big monster.
Not my Goblin.
Ultimate Goblin is a part of Miles'
Yeah.
And
universe.
I wouldn't mind seeing Hobgoblin show up. Like,
You mean New Goblin?
yeah, pretty much New Goblin. But I don't know, like I'm pretty partial to like the Hobgoblin, mostly because
Well, Harry Hobgoblin or regular Hobgoblin?
probably regular Hobgoblin.
Okay, because they've kind of started a thing now where they often turn Harry into the Hobgoblin.
Yeah. Because like growing up with the '90s, they mostly used Hobgoblin for everything rather than Green.
That was something due to legal reasons. I have no idea what they were, but I've
Actually,
heard that was something
I
to
think
do
I
with
know
it.
the reason. Like, there was a brewing company that was up and coming, and like they have a cider called the Green Goblin, so it might be because of that.
But that's mostly what I want to see. I want to see if they do when they do the sequel. I want them to go whole hog about this. I mean, no offense, but like Peter B. Parker is a little safe. Like Spider-Gwen is kind of interesting, and then like the other three, they're super like different. I want that Tatusatsu Spider-Man. I want all the weird Spider-Man.
I would love to see the manga Spider-Man that they did, where they turned all the Marvel characters into manga characters.
Let's not do that one.
Okay. I know there's gonna be I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a Spider-Woman movie, like with all the Spider-Women, or not all of them, but a lot of them. Because I've seen that they have confirmed there's gonna be another one, and I think it's been confirmed that it's going to be mostly focused on the Spider-Women. So speaking of Spider-Women, Spider-Gwen. So the one thing I'm not looking forward to is Miles and Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like Gwen was kind of my least favorite Spider of the bunch.
Yeah, she was kind of the typical cool girl trope.
Yeah.
Like, they just needed a little bit more like fleshed out with her.
Yeah.
It's not that I have anything against the pairing. I'm biased because of the comics, specifically Champion, where Cam, Sam, and Miles.
Who are these people? Cam, Sam?
Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and Samuel Alexander Nova, and Miles are often seen in the comics together.
Okay.
And
so there's a love triangle going on between them?
No. I guess. I don't think there's a love triangle, but a lot of the panels is just, it makes you want to be like, yeah, I could see all three of them together.
So they're just standing next to each other is what you're telling me. They're just standing next to each other. I didn't know this tree was into that. Before we go, I just want to note that the fucking thing at the very end, post credits, that made the movie from a fucking. I was watching this movie. I was like, this movie is like finally like an 8 out of 10. Like the ending was a little clusterfucky, but you know, it's still like a visual spectacle for the eyes, and this was a good movie. You know, I liked it a whole lot. And then like the fucking post credits scene, I was like, this movie is now a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you're sitting there and you're like, Nathan, who's your favorite Spider-Man? It was just like, I like Noir, but I'm kind of sad that I didn't have 2099.
And then I bit my fucking tongue.
And then 2099 came
Yep,
on.
2099 came on.
It's like, oh look, it's Miguel, and Nathan was like, and then you're just like, oh, it's gonna be one of those serious things. No, we're just gonna do the best fucking joke in the movie.
Who pointed first? It was Spider-Man. Spider-Man pointed first.
God damn it. Props to this movie for fucking having both the Green Goblin and motherfucking J. Jonah Jameson. like all the other Spider-Man movies, they were like, we can't do J. Jonah Jameson. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't top J.K. Simmons. It's too impossible. This movie's like, we can't do the impossible. We can't beat him, but we'll at least fucking try. And it's like, you know what? Props to you, movie. Also, I hate this movie because they showed me a universe where Clone High didn't get canceled, and I'm just so fucking mad about that. I want Clone High to continue and do all that fun stuff. It makes me sad. There's a lot of little details in this movie, and it's real good, real good. But
anybody else get a headache from that opening?
No,
because we're not fucking old people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go and take your ibuprofen, man. So, any final thoughts you want to go over? We'll go over with the people who came in last.
It was good. I liked it. If we're talking about a singular contested story rather than a series, my favorite is still the PS4 game, but this is still very, very, very good and has a lot of fan love, and I always love to see that.
Okay. I'm really happy with how they changed Miles' origins. It's not too drastically changed, but it is slightly, like, it's improved. And considering they only have from 2011 to pull from for Miles compared to Peter, who has, I don't know when his comic started, like 70s, I think.
60s.
Yeah, 60s.
66.
Yeah. So those movies had all that time to pull from, whereas this one only had from 2011. So the past 7 years.
Yep.
Probably 5 years if they started in 2016, which I wouldn't be surprised because animation takes a while, and they took at least a couple years, I heard.
But yeah.
I'm excited for a sequel. Like, I love how the movie looks. I honestly wish a lot more studios would go for a more stylized look rather than we gotta get close to. We need to like make out with the boundary of that uncanny valley. And so yeah, love how it looks. It was good, like good overall story. Definitely go buy it when it comes out and make it the new Book of Life. And go find Jorge Gutierrez and say, I'm sorry, man. I had to watch Spider-Man a lot more than Book of Life.
He's like, don't worry, if it's into the Spider. He literally tweeted something out that said, if Spider-Verse and Paddington 2 isn't on your top 10 movie list, then what the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, I think Kojima would support those statements also.
I don't know. I don't think he saw Spider-Verse, but yeah. Did you want to say something more?
With the animation style. I think this movie is going to be like setting some high bars.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Setting high bars with how hero animated movies are from now on.
Animated movies in general.
In general, like looking at it, I'm all like, hey, I actually do want to do storyboarding for animation and eventually have like my own thing. And this style is something that I would want my like movie to have.
Yeah, there's so many little details with. On the third viewing, I was looking at Miles's eye. Miles's eye is a fucking, like, it's a circle and it has, like, the colors. And then they put the iris around the colors. So, like, you see, like, the line is, like, it's not perfect around the colors of his eyes. And it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
As for me, I did not think that 2018 would be the year that Spider-Man 2 would get dethroned in games and movies. I was honestly shocked that they pulled that off. I don't know how we did this. I absolutely love this movie. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't see it fucking 3 times in a row. There's very few movies I do go and see multiple times. This movie is so jam-packed full of stuff that I just love. And I don't want to go see it again in theaters, but you know, if Nathan has it on DVD and he's like, "Hey, you want to watch Spider-Verse?" I'd be more than willing to watch it again. I love this movie. There's all sorts. I could go on about the details and about how snow was used to make little action lines and just the details in that, but we don't really have time for that. Either way, go definitely see this movie, especially if your name is Renee. So who ruined the joke. Renee was going to come in and we're going to do the joke at the end where Renee comes in and goes, now let's start at the beginning. But now he's here and he can't do it. So he's just going to kill the show. Kill the show, Renee.